Hey, Christian family, what's going on? It seems like the biggest thing on the internet right now is the Travis Scott issues at Astroworld. Well, we're just gonna put it to you this way. Yes, it was a blood sacrifice. Why do we say this? Because that's what the industry do when they trying to collect revenue. You know what I'm saying? On their stars. That's how they boost the spiritual content and the spiritual draw on their artist music. It's deep. Yeah, it's real deep. Most of these artists, when they get into the industry, they don't realize the contract they sign is thought up by people who serve Satan. It's a scheme to get you trapped and to get you to become a slave to the industry. Okay? These people like Travis Scott, they've made deals with Satan, and they have to live up and own up to the things that they've done. Well, the deals that they've made to repay this money, to repay for the fame and the blowing up and being on top. Well, and one of the ways they do this is through blood sacrifice, and the blood sacrifices are through people who follow them, devote themselves to them, pay money to see them in incidences like this. They cause death, carnage, chaos, and get paid off of it. Well, it's not just my opinion, it's a lot of people's opinion. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it's all ushering in the end times. The lawless one. It's programming. Watch my channel, Reverend Hunter. Actually, it's Reverend John Hunter on YouTube. So, check me out. Here goes some of the stuff I be watching, and how I get my information and how I'm putting all this stuff together. Plus the Bible talks about this kind of thing. So if you really want to find out the true answers and how to get down to the bottom of the nitty gritty, read your Bible. And then ask your minister for this discernment. If you don't believe me, check out for yourself. Look it up. This is Reverend John Hunter, talking to the people, trying to get y'all to understand some things. It's time to open your eyes. Soldiers, it's time to stand up. If you have knowledge, it's time to speak. You don't want their blood on your hands, so speak up. Love y'all.
Each other and just trying to keep each other alive.
In Astroworld, it was totally different. It was just like a concert from hell.
I was literally praying, and I was like, please get me out of here. Like, this is not how I want to go, please.
I tried to turn my head to tell my boyfriend. I couldn't turn my head, but I tried to tell him to... I really was going to have him tell my son that I loved him, because I honestly did not think I was going to make it out of there. I'm not trying to be dramatic. I straight up thought I was going to die.
We do have a report of a security officer. He was reaching over to restrain or grab a citizen, and he felt a prick in his neck. When he was examined, he went unconscious. They administered Narcan.
8, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
We ended up hearing stop the show from with people. I couldn't tell why they wanted to stop the show, but then that's when I saw a big circle open, and I couldn't see who was on the floor, but they said he's not breathing, someone else CPR, but the show kept going. They were really trying to stop it, but they couldn't.
Had a whole section screaming help, help, and nobody was doing nothing. They, like I said, for whatever reason, they want to help. And I don't know if it's because they were streaming live or whatever the case was, but there was passed out bodies just being held up because it was so compact, and like the deaths there, there were deaths right in front of us, and they weren't helping at all.
Now looking good, y'all. Y'all know they suing him, right? It's a lot of people about to sue him, but look at the album cover. Look at the album cover. He got kids on the album cover inviting him to the playground. Oh my goodness. A lot of people are speaking out. Check this witness. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to this channel.
The friends we spoke to says, the friends tell us they consider themselves survivors.
They ruined Astro Fest or Astro World Fest. The first time it was something like, I mean, you go and you just have nothing but a fun time, like fun stories to tell. And I mean, this time you like barely make it out alive.
In the photo, 19-year-old Kaya Reedus and 20-year-old Zachary Scott took prior to Astroworld yesterday. They're smiling. Today, the friends were very subdued, traumatized, as they said.
This time at Astroworld, it was totally different. It was just like a concert from hell.
Of Hell by the famous painter Hieronymus Bosch in the 1400s. And here we got the Astroworld concert in 2021 by Travis Scott. And this is the Canaanite deity known as Moloch. He was depicted in the Bible and known for child sacrifice. And what a coincidence, 8 people died at this concert.
Concert over the weekend. As I'm sure most of you have heard, there was a tragedy that took place where 8 people have been reported to have lost their lives and hundreds of more have been injured. So there is a lot of things that are not adding up here. I got a lot of requests to cover this, so I started looking into it, and there is a lot to unpack, so we're going to get right into it. Now, just taking a look at some of the imagery found at this festival that Travis Scott puts on every year, I mean, it's just straight up demonic, weird. I mean, it looks like a dystopian nightmare. So that right there should get people's alarm bells going off to maybe think that this is not something they should be attending. But if we look at the stage that was set up at this concert where the tragedy took place, it
8 flames,
looks
8
like
people.
a gateway into hell. With the flames coming up, the spiral portal thing going in, and after everything I have learned about what happened and the videos I've watched, you know, it does appear to be that this was some type of pre-planned ritual event where they meant for these people to lose their lives. Unfortunately, that's just my opinion. But I'm going to show you some of the videos from inside the concert and what some people who attended have to say about it. I think that will give us some answers as to what really happened here. But of course, Travis Scott is claiming that he had no idea what was happening. He didn't know that people were in distress. But I think these videos will say otherwise. It's quite clear that he could see and hear everything that was happening, just pretended like everything was fine, and the concert went on as normal. Take a look at this video where Travis Scott is kind of standing on a big platform right above the crowd, and pretty much directly below him, someone is being carried out of the crowd who is completely unconscious, or maybe even worse. Just take a look.
He's chanting the word yeah. He's in a trance. He's acknowledging and confirming what's going on.
Okay, so it's kind of hard for me to believe that Travis Scott could not see what was going on right below him.
Oh, he saw it.
Someone was being carried out of the crowd unconscious. You would think he would stop the show and check out what was going on. And I mean, not to make light of the situation, but can you imagine having your last moments on Earth, if that is indeed what happened to that kid? Your last moments on Earth, all you can hear is the terrible auto-tune singing by Travis Scott. I mean, that's a terrible way to go. But then there's this video, which further supports my theory that he knew exactly what was going on, and this was a pre-planned event. You can hear the crowd screaming for help. They're saying, help us, and Travis Scott is on stage laughing demonically. That's the only way I can describe it. Just take a look. It's a short clip, but just take a look. Okay, so they actually want us to believe that Travis Scott could not hear those desperate cries for help and people screaming for their lives which you could clearly hear from that audio, and he was just laughing and having a great time on stage. So just one more piece of evidence that suggests that this was indeed a pre-planned event, and Travis Scott was quite happy about it. Now this is a first-hand, very evil. It felt like he was in hell. He saw people dying and passing out all around him. And it sounds like it was a quite terrifying experience. Just take a listen.
It just felt like we was like literally like in fucking hell, bro. Like it felt like we was in a concert in hell. You couldn't breathe. You couldn't see. Like, just imagine all the people they gonna find tonight who was in that crowd, who nobody could see, who nobody could hear, who passed out, and everybody was just trampling on top of them the whole fucking concert. Like, I'm thinking it's probably gonna be like at least 100 people who dead tonight. Like, I kid you not. Like, in the VIP section, it was so many bodies laid out. People was getting pulled out who was fainting, and the people were the medics were trying to give them CPR, and they was flipping them over, and like they was literally turning black and blue. Like I never seen that in my fucking life. Move to the next person. It was nothing they couldn't do. Like this shit really fucked me up and like really spooked me today. Like that was like some demonic shit. Like what was so crazy, like people were screaming help, trying to tell Travis Scott. They was like help. The whole crowd was just going help, help, help. And he just kept going, bro. It was like, that shit was scary, bro. It was so demonic, bro. And mind you, y'all see the type of music I make. Y'all see everything, like, you know, like, I've been so heavily influenced by Travis, but, like, after tonight, bro, like, God really showed me, like, you know, like, stay away from that shit, bro. Like, that shit not for you, because, like, he sacrificed so many people's lives tonight, like, for real. Like, so many people's lives are gone tonight because they want to go to a fucking Travis Scott concert and have fun. You know, he influenced people to be raging and all this shit. So many people broke in, and it was just chaos, bro. It was a living fucking hell, bro. Imagine seeing all those dead bodies, and that was just by me.
Okay, so
and that there are 8 people who are dead and 300 or more who are injured at this concert. And so I want to help bring a little bit of balance and clarity and understanding as to what's going on. Because you got a lot of people right now putting out footage that they don't understand, and all they're able to do is kind of point at and say it's demonic. And not only that, but within one day, a lot of the footage out has already been twisted or manipulated or cut to make it look like something's happening a certain way, or graphics added to make it look like demons were leaping onto the crowd and different things like that. All right, so for a while, I have been trying to slowly help you guys understand who these people are and what's really going on, okay? And I've told you, a lot of these people are literal Satanists, literal occultic Luciferians, okay? And it shows, and it's obvious. And the sad thing is a lot of people will look at all this stuff I'm going to show you, and they'll think, oh, it's just a show. Oh, it's just for shock factor. And oh, it's just innocent and it's fun. And I know Christians who say stuff like that. They're that deceived. I know Christians who are taking their children to these type of places, literally leading them to the gates of hell, leading them to the portals of hell. And I'm going to show you this video, kind of how it goes together, some of the symbolism, some of the meaning. It's kind of common sense, more common sense in this video. It's more blatant and just in your face, so there's not too much detailed stuff I need to go into. Okay, but I want you to also remember, anything you guys hear, it's going to be lies. It's going to be lies. If they're not born again, they're going to have their own fleshly ideas and thoughts and feelings. Don't listen to them. You're going to have police line. You're going to have the news line. You're going to have the artists themselves line. You're going to have the record labels line. You see secret networks, secret societies, secret occults. This is how they work. Okay, and they work together as a network, and they're surrounded and they're protected by these people. And so he'll come out all innocent and all sorrowful, and I'm so sorry. And my prayers go out to those families. Who do you think they're praying to? You don't.
Those dead bodies.
I just want to send out prayers to the ones that was lost last night. We're actually working right now to identify the families so we can help assist them through this tough time.
I don't want their prayers. But believe me, because they ain't praying to Jesus Christ of Nazareth, okay? They're pagans. And they're praying to their god, Satan. and it's going into the portal of hell. You're going to find out that that's a portal to hell, a physical representation of it, okay? So upside down inverted cross, Antichrist being burnt up in the portal of hell. This shirt right here, I want you to look. You got blue men walking into this door, this portal, and coming out demonically possessed, coming out as demons. What does that represent right there? Those are souls going through a portal, a door, becoming demons, okay? And I'm going to show you this in some other ways here, okay, as you continue to watch these videos. So, blatant, he's wearing it. It's in everything else that they got set up. Now here you're going to see the portal to hell here. I don't know what that thing is doing. Okay, you see this? See ya on the other side. Now the show, I don't even think it started yet at this point quite, because when the show starts, that portal turns like fire and red and swirly, and those are like layers of hell. And I think a lot of people have talked about that and written books about it. I don't want to say too much about it because I don't know much about that, okay? But here you got a portal to hell. Those are probably representations of different layers to hell, possibly. And then you have right here, see ya on the other side. Okay, and when this thing gets cracking, when it gets popping, this whole mountain turns red fire and starts shooting fire. Just whoa, 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 just coming out the top, just raging out the top. So why does it look like a mountain? And then when all that stuff's red, I'm not going to say too much about that right now. You need to pray about that. You need to use some common sense. You need to use some discernment. But anyways, here you got a volcano. This thing turns into a volcano. And here you got the portal to hell. See ya on the other side. A message to 8 people who lost their lives that night. Let me tell you something. If you think those people's lives were accidentally lost, you don't know what's going on in the world. You don't know who these people are. And you don't know the power that they walk in. That they are high up occultists and witches and everything else. And they are conjuring demons. They are doing blood sacrifices. And this quite possibly could be a blood sacrifice as you look at the whole view of it. Because whoever was going around killing people or people being trampled or whatever, it was demonically backed and charged regardless. And death was already marked with death. It was already primed and ready, okay? See ya on the other side. I'm not even going to finish the video because that's all it shows. It just kind of goes in a little bit further. So a message to the 8 people in the center of the portal to hell. Remember what I told you at the beginning of the video? How these rappers will say things to the audience like, you're coming to hell with me. If you're here, it's too late. You're in hell. Blah, 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 blah. Why do they say that? Because they are a gateway to hell. You want to go to hell, hey, go hang out with these people. You know what I mean? Go be one with them. Go up into their business. Go up into their little ceremonies and satanic blood rituals and whatever else they got going. Yeah. Because that's what a Christian would do, right? Christians go to these types of places. Okay, let's go to the next video. I'm going to show you how kind of chaotic and packed it was. Let me out. Let him out. Let me out. You can hear some people in there screaming, I can't breathe. Okay. This is just part of the chaos. This is just a small part of the chaos. This is probably a watered down part of the chaos. Okay, so you got people screaming, let me out. Help me. I can't breathe. Okay, they're being smashed and people are being trampled. Let me remind you something. You guys have been to these concerts, right? I used to go to demonic concerts. And when it's this packed like this, you can't breathe as it is. With all that force and pressure and the heat and the oxygen being sucked out of the air, you can't breathe as it is. So even as a grown man, even if you're a strong man, and you get knocked down, there's a very, very high chance you will be trampled to death. Because when you're on that ground, you are not going to have oxygen. You are not going to be able to breathe. And with 500 to 1,000 pounds standing on you constantly and walking all, you're not going to be able to get up. If anybody stops to try to help you up, they'll get trampled and they'll die. Kind of like when you go to save a drowning person, if you're not know what you're doing. Okay, these and Christians want to go and they want to take their kids. Take their kids.
Story is very difficult to tell. This 9-year-old, his name is Ezra Blunt, and he went to Astroworld with his father looking to have a good time. I want to show you some photos that his father just sent to me here just a little while ago, showing him and his 9-year-old son at Astroworld. That is Ezra Blunt that you see there on the screen, a 9-year-old innocent boy who loves Travis Scott like his father. Now, these photos, as I mentioned, they were taken on Friday, just hours before what became a violent crowd surge during Travis Scott's performance. It was an exciting time for this father and his son. They came from Dallas for the show, and as I mentioned, loved Travis Scott. The child, he was on his father's shoulders, and he actually fell from his dad's shoulders. I want you guys to take a listen to how his grandfather described exactly what happened there as he had his son up there to protect him from the crowd surge.
And my son couldn't breathe because of all the pressure that was being applied to him, and he passed out. And when he passed out, Ezra fell into the crowd. He was trampled really bad.
He has the cutest dimple. He loves to sing. He is so outgoing. He loves music and he loves skateboards, and he's just a normal child. He was spending time with his dad and he loves that.
Chauncey and Myra, how this ended for both this son and his father is absolutely tragic. His family also tells me that here at Texas Children's Hospital, he was listed as a John Doe because when his father passed out, when he regained consciousness, his son had already been taken to safety. So you can just imagine the panic that this family had. His father searching for his son and this crowd of people that were pushing people and trampling over people, not knowing that he was already here at the hospital. His son was severely hurt. His family tells me that all of his organs are damaged here. His brain has swelling that has progressively gotten worse over the day. So his full recovery will be a miracle for them, and they're clinging on to hope and prayer that little 9-year-old Ezra Blunt does make a full recovery.
They went to the Travis Scott concert. My son had Ezra on his shoulders at the concert, and my son couldn't breathe because of all the pressure that was being applied to him, and he passed out. And when he passed out, Ezra fell into the crowd, and he was trampled really bad, And when my son came to, they had already taken Ezra to the hospital, and he was listed as a John Doe because nobody knew his name, and the father was still at the venue in the medical facilities. So I guess my biggest thing is, how could this happen in the city of Houston? When we go to concerts and different events, we expect safety and security. And all the videos I've seen, I didn't see any security. I saw very little security. If the concert was going to be allowed to continue, the police should have stepped in and stopped it. When the first person was injured or deceased, the police should have stepped in and stopped it. Someone should have stepped in and stopped it. And I just think there should be some accountability, because for my grandson to end up the way he did, something terrible happened. He's a small, innocent child. He didn't deserve that. He didn't deserve it at all. He's just coming into town to see one of his favorite artists. And to be trampled like that and really left in the hospital with no one knowing where he was, that's heartbreaking. And us as citizens of Houston, we don't deserve it, and my grandson certainly didn't deserve it.
I saw the photos. Ezra's tiny. These people trampled him had no care for human life, even a baby. He's a baby.
He's a baby. Just going to a concert to have a good time with his father.
Dad, on his dad's shoulders, and his dad passed out.
Yeah. And he was trying to keep Ezra safe, but as we've seen in the videos, with him holding Ezra up, they left him vulnerable down. So he got really squeezed and he couldn't breathe. He just told me, Dad, I couldn't breathe and I passed out. Well, there should have been some kind of security or some kind of measures to stop that kind of thing from happening. You know, people come in from out of town, they don't know what to expect at a Travis Scott concert, and he kind of got walked into a situation where it shouldn't have been.
Are they from out of town?
Yes.
Oh, where are they from?
Tristan is from Tyler, and Ezra lives in Dallas.
Wow. So does he live with Ezra full time?
No, he stays with his mother.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Tell us about Ezra's injuries. What's going on?
Ezra has extensive injuries. He has damage to his kidney, has damage to his lungs, has damage to his heart, swelling on his brain. During the incident, had cardiac arrest. So had a 9-year-old child had a heart attack because he was being trampled so severely.
What are the doctors saying? Is he going to survive?
It's up in the air right now. But we're praying that he makes a full recovery. And we have our faith in the doctors that are treating him. And we just wish that something more would be done, because no family deserves or should be going through this.
To talk about my experience at Astrofest. It is extremely traumatizing. I've never experienced anything like that in my entire life. Probably because I've never been surrounded by so many lifeless bodies all around me. It was so demonic. The energy was so demonic. The set was demonic. Travis was demonic. We were literally in hell. Like, it felt like we were in hell. Nobody could breathe. We were all suffocating. Everybody around me was suffocating. We're fighting for our fucking lives. We're doing our very best. You see people running out, bawling, lips blue. There's people, they're dragging dead bodies out of the crowd. Dead bodies. And Travis knew. Travis had a bird's eye view on everybody and could see everything. He was asked multiple times to stop, and his responses are, you know what you were here for, something like that, and let's ring.
That's okay with you real quick. Take me, let's do it.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, welcome to sipping and walk. Yeah, be sipping on fake drugs. Yeah, this shit around the clock. I just let them back and made a deposit. What is an SRT? It's an mileage. Pockets bad as hell, so I got mileage. All these rats on me ain't got a
After your kids, man. Look at the drama. Look at the drama.
The Astroworld event. There was zero crowd etiquette at all. They just wanted to get closer to the show, closer to Travis Scott, and do their thing. They didn't give a single damn about anyone around them. It was an absolute shit show. These people who were getting up on these towers, screaming at camera people, please stop the show. Those are the heroes. Those are the people who need to be applauding. And 8 people confirmed dead on scene, and the other 3 are still being worked on in the hospital. They might be vegetables by this point. Whose fault is it? My observations was the crowd.